Yo, what is going on? Welcome to the final Mushoku Tensei video of the year. Damn, until April 2024. You know, there might be some updates or things that pop up that I'll hit you guys up on. So we'll see. I am an anime only, so there's only so much I can do. I thank you guys for following this journey. Let's get into today's topic. This was a beautiful episode, man. And I don't want to focus on the obvious things. So let me talk to you guys about the things that were important to me and what we could take away as a lesson for this show. First of all, it's how serious ED is. It united all the homies, man. Even Luke, who I was looking at funny the entire season. And yes, I'm going to blend reality and fiction. Whatever. These are real people as far as I'm concerned. Luke was like, yo, Ariel, don't you talk about a man in his dire situation like that. He needs our help. I got the remedy. And before we go into some of the less obvious things that Rudy learned, yo, guys, what we have to learn is, in my opinion, that I think this is way more normal than any of us guys realize, because it's not something that many of us talk to each other about. One of the lessons is that Rudy was only successful conquering his ED with the help of his sphere of influence. It was the people around him that helped. And for the most part, he didn't have that in his previous life. So that's a nice thing to note. I want to go into, again, the seriousness of ED. Ladies, if you guys are listening, pay attention, okay? You know, sometimes with a man, like, and guys listening, if you guys have trouble, there's not anything wrong with us a lot of the times. The psychological things is true. I know two things, man. If my girl, if it's time to put in some work, I am not looking at my YouTube comment sections. I'm not looking at the comments in general. I can't look at my WhatsApp notifications, because when I'm getting ready for the zone and I see an editor, you know, sent me a notice at an odd time, I'm like, oh shit, that means something's wrong. Or I read one person that says some wild shit and now I want to craft an argument for him. I'm off my game. So I was hard 5 minutes ago, but I saw a notification or read something that has me in the zone. Yo, I'm out. I'm out until I clear this up. There's been times I'm in the sack, about to handle some business, and it's like, yo, did you lock the door? Because we have a kid. And it's like, oh shit, no, I didn't. And that fear, you go, you clock the door, and you race back, and you're like, oh shit. Like, yo, that moment of fear kind of fucked me up, so I had to get right back into the zone, okay? Those are things that happen. As we saw in today's episode, every now and then, you know, a little support and or a little bit of the blue stuff, yo, that's necessary, man. There was a time when all of the Bleach videos were in question, and I was stressed for like a whole month. All these reactors were getting hit. Naruto, Bleach, JoJo, Jujutsu Kaisen, Jujutsu Kaisen wasn't, but a lot of titles were getting hit and taken down. I was stressed, man. So when your kid is out, the Thea got the kid, and you know it's your night to perform, but you have a lot on your mind. Every now and then you take a little something because your girl don't need to face the consequences of that. Give her the time of her life. Or here's another thing. You can actually be handling business just great, guys. Just great. But the child is away for the weekend. So you know this is a time to give above average performance. So take them performance enhancing drugs. Shout out to Lance Armstrong. You gotta do what you gotta do for a championship. Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. And unlike Lance Armstrong, no one could take that from you, okay? And you know, communicating with your loved one is important, so they understand potentially why your mind is not potentially in it and what they could do to help alleviate your stress or alleviate the problem, okay? That's a real life thing. Now, a lot of you might look down on me or judge me, but whatever. Anyways, moving forward to the lesson that Rudy got, like I said, I'm not telling you to tell everybody your business. That's not what I'm saying. But I do think it's important to highlight, and Luke kind of mentioned it, as OP as Rudy is as far as everyone else is concerned, it was funny. That's why Ariel was saying that nonsense. Oh, with everything that he got going on, that's his problem. And she undermined it. And it's like, whoa. Even a man as great as he is can have that type of struggle. That can happen to the best of us, you know? So don't make light of it. Without Sylphie, without Luke, he wasn't going to overcome it. And I appreciated that about the series. I appreciated about that. Because what I thought was going to happen the entire time is he was going to have this ED problem, run into Sylphie, and basically it was just going to be gone. But I like that they reinforce that although she can help him, although around her he happens to get it up and he wasn't getting it up with anybody else, right? Pretty much, it's the fear of sex itself that was causing him a problem. So until he got until he can have sex, right? And get over the fear of the consequence that happened last time he had sex, the only other time he had sex, he was not able to go forward. It's a very important point. The first girl that when he first found out he didn't have the ED, when he first found out he had an ED problem, right? He wasn't into that girl like that. I mean, it's a girl, like, yo, what's good? You saw how nervous and awkward the scene was, but he wasn't interested in her like that. It was just about the sex. And then when they try to bring him to the brothel, again, very nice woman, but again, that was all about the sex, and the sex of itself was fearful for Rudy, so he would not work. So, yeah, he got hard when he was around Sylphie, giving Sylphie a hug, but when it came time for the deed, he would not work because that was the act that was making him nervous, that very act. So, what he needed, right, was something to let him perform that act and see that it's okay. You're not going to be abandoned when you do this act. You don't have to worry about being alone when you do this act. And then now the overthinking is gone. And he's like, I could do this. And then once he grabbed a bit of biddies, he functioned. And I thought that was beautiful because, again, the show could have made it just simple perversion, right? Oh, he had to be around the person he loved, all right, in order for him to get over it. But no, he still had to conquer his fear. There was something in himself that he had to conquer. And once he was able to conquer that, he was able to move on. And in this case, he could not conquer that by himself. He had to conquer that with a loved one. And with a loved one with some resources. Sometimes it's like that, right? Now, that can actually make you feel a little down about yourself. Because if it wasn't for that, I couldn't put a price value on that in modern age. Maybe you guys can help me out in the comment section. But that drug was expensive as hell. And they didn't have no insurance. They didn't have any health insurance. That's why in America, yo, we get that shit covered. If you're a woman, good luck, right? But men's... All right. It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke, but apparently it's a truth in the healthcare system in this country. I don't know this for a fact. I just listen to the arguments or the talking points of women as they advocate for healthcare. Now, I'm going to take a little detour, but apparently, right, and many of the insurance, they'll include health or benefits that are for men, right? And then when women want things for them, they don't have those benefits. And the laws are written by men and benefit men, but apparently they don't benefit women as much when they're trying to get care or I don't want, you know, I literally panicked. Anyone have an abortion, right? Let's just face it. This is also my new thing. I'm just going to say things directly. If they want an abortion, one of their arguments was that it would not get paid for, would not get covered for, but the men do. They get their stuff paid for in the insurance or whatever, and things are getting nicked and dimed, and it's written by men. Now, whether you agree with that is a whole different story, but there's a whole plethora of things that girls want, and they don't have it. But men are deciding what they get paid for or not. I took a massive detour. But the detour was because I was hesitating. So anyways, I took medicine, a lot of money, right? And a good friend to help this man out, right? So sometimes your struggle, bruh, is a big problem, and some things can't be solved by a little bit of talking, a little this or that. It takes solutions of massive proportion. That's what Rudy got himself. But it worked. It worked because he communicated to someone he trusted, and that person had the resources to help him. And guys, the last 2 episodes was very heavy on Sylphie because I really just admire her for her whole approach with Rudy. I know it's a fictitious character, but hear me out, man. All of us guys can imagine when you're just down and out, bro, and you have a problem like that. If you're not functioning at all, because all I can tell you is about flukes. There's flukes that just occur in my life. But to just not function, I don't know how you feel as a man. Like, that is... And I'm not looking down on you guys that have trouble functioning. I'm just saying I can understand exactly how you feel. So you have someone like Sophie, she's determined, bro. You saw what she did to Paul. She's like, yo, you saw what I did to Paul? I'm gonna conquer that ED for you. And she went and she handled it. Very mature, came with the stuff. I thought she was gonna drug him, but she just gave him some wine just to loosen him up. That's actually a recommendation. If you watch my first video, I mentioned having some type of wine or liquor to help loosen your nerves. Sometimes you can have whiskey dick too, so be careful. Yo, she was careful to, you know, soften his nerves. And then she explained to him exactly what this drug is. She explained it to him. And you know what? I actually doubted her for half a second. I thought she was really going to drug this man. And if she did drug him, you want to know the wild thing? The wild thing? Let me rephrase this so I don't get canceled, okay? If Sophie had used the performance enhancing products on Rudy, I was ready to approve of it. I knew that that was controversial or not right, but I knew for this individual, for this scenario, I was going to give it a pass, okay? And I want to offer you guys, or I want to tell you guys the key difference and why this is something I'd be willing to give a pass. It's one thing to do it to a person who's not interested in you or, you know, that kind of stuff and put them into a coma so you can get things. But yo, I'm going to insert myself into this scenario, right? So if I'm having trouble and I want my wife just adds a little something, doesn't tell me, because she doesn't want me to overthink this thing and get nervous, right? And I trust, love, and I'm basically, my wife always has consent before I even say consent. Assume I always give my wife consent. That's how things work, right? So she added a little something, like, God damn, I want you. And I found out afterwards what she did. I personally would be okay. Me personally. So I was projecting, and I put Rudy in my category, and I was like, if Rudy's anything like me here, he's going to improve. But anyways, I hope I politically got away with that one. Turned out that she actually explained exactly what she was doing, which reinforces why Sophie is best girl. And I know Eris is going to pop back up sometime in this story, and I'm supposed to forgive her like she Nino. But nah, I am ready to hold a grudge. And if Eris is reintroduced in the story, I'm gonna speculate that she is. I'm not dumb, okay? She's gonna have to work very hard for my forgiveness. I already know she left him because she just is not good with words. So she just left to better herself. Sophie was actually bettering herself too, but she didn't leave him to better herself. They were separated. She was taken from her, and then she went and bettered herself so she'd be ready when he came back. See how they were in a different circumstance? Both with the same goal though. So I love how she talked it out and let him know exactly what's going on. Consent. Sophie is a fantastic role model in that regard. And she said, yo, dig in. She knew exactly what she wanted, man. She knew exactly what she wanted. You know another thing I liked about that scene with Sophie? That they did not depict at all a girl who can potentially regret her decision. This was not a spur in the moment. Y'all was just making out in the cave, whatever, and then bam, it happened, bro. Like, it could have happened in the cave. And she's like, damn it, I told you I wanted babies. Remember when she said that? She was dead ass about the babies. So she really came back with a plan. I really like that, man. Because, again, there's no regrets. Because if I'm going to be honest with you, I am looking at younger characters. I see them as younger characters. So when I say Sophie's best girl, that's like Rudy's like my son in this situation, even though he's my son with the 50-year-old soul and things get weird. But when you don't overthink it, Rudy is my son. And he's telling me about Sylphie, this girl, and it's like, yo, you know what? I approve of her for my son, and here is why. So anyways, they're young. So when you see them about to have, you know, that, it's like, damn, dog, the way y'all moving is a little awkward. You're going to regret it. You ain't never smashed before. He already smashed. Is he really going to be with you? What about the next day? All these things I got to ask, because that's what you think for real life girls. But Sophie really understood exactly what she was doing. She understood, in my opinion. They gave her plenty of time to work this out, and she plotted on Rudy. I think that's also very important that they depicted. It would have been harder to stomach, you know, Rudy coming up, because all right, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I know that Rudy is reincarnated with the memories of his past life. I let it go a lot of the time, but it is very hard when I see someone with a petite body type, especially like Sophie. Luke pointed it out. Damn, dog, this is weird, right? But he got reincarnated. This is his new life. He is 16 years old. In reincarnation, it's normal, right, that you get reincarnated, but you normally don't remember things, so that's why, like, no one thinks about it. But they remind us with the physical depiction of his soul. I'm like, damn, this is so weird. That being said, that's why I appreciate that it was Sophie in control. It's Sophie plotting. It's no matter how you cut and dice it, Sophie is the adult in that situation, despite what memories Rudy has. You know, he is not equipped for this scenario. That when they depict the maturity comparison, Sophie got it. So I don't have to look at this, because there's a lot of people that this was their arguments on season 1 stuff. I don't have to look at him like Sophie was taken advantage of. Not at all. I won't have that feeling. And I know that's a little weird, a little bit controversial, a little bit debatable. Maybe no one's even asking, but I am voicing that the author had class or tact in his approach at getting those two together, in my opinion. Even, no, I'm not going to talk about Eris because I had to rewatch and give a proper talking point. So someone's going to introduce what about Eris? I'm not talking about Eris. I'm talking about Sylphie. Eris was last season. I have to rewatch, analyze the scene, and then give you my take on it. But even that one was like, you know. But you know what time it is when you're watching Mushoku Tensei. I remember in the beginning of Mushoku Tensei, I was talking about, what was I talking about? I was explaining how romantic they were. And I went to explain how Rudy just went to go force her drawers off and stuff like that in the cave, and how she was planning to get this man wet, borderline give him pneumonia, so she can reenact the scene. I thought it was romantic, but as I said out loud, like, bruh, You on your way home, right? You're walking, and your girl doesn't want you to go back home. She wants you, say you're walking your girl, right? Or a girl to her house, and you're gonna walk back to your house. So she makes sure the garden sprinklers all turn on and soak you, and it's below 30 degrees outside, okay? With the intention for you to stay in her crib, right? And then she, I don't know, gives you some wine. Sophie didn't do that. So she can get the cheeks. When you detail the plan, you don't know whether to be impressed or not. Can we be honest? I don't know if we should be impressed or not, but I was. But when I say it out loud, I'm like, yo, this is kind of wild. This is kind of wild. But again, that's why grown, bro. As far as we're concerned, Sophie's grown for Rudy, because that girl was scheming, bro. That's a schemer if I ever seen one. And respectfully, big Sophie fan here. Other than Ghislaine for plot reasons, and Rudy's aunt or Eris's mom, who's no longer in the picture, and Rudy's mom, and the maid, okay? Liana? Sophie's my favorite. So everyone above her is a woman with epic plots. But on character alone, she is the best girl, in my opinion, in the show. And that episode sealed it. And that's my remarks. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I think I covered everything that was important to cover. Rudy had friends to support him. He had loved ones. He had a safe place. That's what allowed him to overcome these things. I know I went off on a tangent. And ultimately, if he didn't have that safe place, he wouldn't have overcome it. So, like, that's something important for us. So a lot of us can't get out of our situation. We don't have a safe place. We don't have people to talk to. And we don't have people that have the insight to get us out of it, okay? Well, if you have those things, you could be in a better position. How do you get those things? I don't freaking know. I know in Rudy's case, he goes around helping people to some capacity. He gathers friends, but not intentionally. But he goes around doing good deeds. Not like he's a savior, but, he'll just help you out real quick. And then people that have gratitude will pay it for. That tends to be Rudy's scenario, and he happens to be overpowered. But you and I don't have those kind of things. So, like, damn, right? That's why I tried to give the lesson before I started talking. I'll be honest with you, I know I'm rambling at the end. I was coming in with the lesson that Rudy had a support structure. That's why he was successful. But I would have did you guys a disservice. I'm gonna be honest with you. Rudy is as handsome as can be. He has an epic name. His name carries weight. He has one of the most high. He has the highest mana reserve for his age. He is on a path, as long as no one kills him at this stage, to become one of the most powerful mages in the world. The only thing that his dick wasn't working. That we don't have those kinds of problems. Most of us, right? If only the only problem that we had was our dick not functioning. If that was the only problem that we had. But you know what? That's the biggest problem. So I also credit the author for that too, because I don't care how rich or successful you are. If your thing is not functioning, you're shit. No, I don't mean that. I'm not saying that you're shit, but you would feel like shit, and I would feel like shit. I want to be very clear that if you're suffering from ED, I don't think that you are shit, but I do think you will feel like shit, and I think I would feel like shit, and I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't. But let's not cap as men. That is a symbol of our pride. So any one of us will be down, okay? Let's be honest, supportive, and loving with each other, but let's not deny how we would feel under these circumstances. And again, when I've had these troubles, I'm like, damn, bruh. Like, damn, this is embarrassing. So I get it. But sometimes I can speak so candid, so frank. It's like, oh my God. But that being said, if I'm in front of Mark Zuckerberg, billionaire, who's a martial artist now, biting people, has a championship, and I find out that he is not functioning down there 100% of the time, there is no way I can accept mentally him looking down on me when I know the stats. I don't care how handsome he is. I don't care how much money he is. I don't even care how much bitches he gets. That's if I know that's the deficiency and I don't have that deficiency other than the 1% of the time of the year, because every now and then things happen, I'm not going to feel too down in comparison to him. So the reason why I highlight that is the one thing that, like, it doesn't matter what your stats are as a man. This is a problem. That's why all of us were able to unite. And it also helps that he was OP with that problem. Let's just say it was Subaru with that problem. Ain't no one feel, man, Subaru, of course you soft, bro. It ain't no surprise your shit don't work, Subaru. God. I don't even think I'd have the same storyline. I'd be like, of course your stuff don't work. You never deserved Amelia. Should have said yes to Rem. I'm out. Thanks for watching. Y'all know the deal. Smash a thumbs up. Drop a comment. Yo, I'm active on the gaming channel. I'm active on Twitter. I'm active on Instagram. I'm going to link the gaming channel right here in the description of this video. I appreciate all y'all's support. Shout out to Subaru. Shout out to Rem. Hope y'all... I should have ended on a high note. Bye. And you know I couldn't stop with one channel. Be sure to check out the YaBoyRocklee subsidiary channels in the description of this video. Much love, guys.